Hi, I'm Nicholas Wallwork. If you like good educational property investment, property development, property construction tips, please do subscribe, hit the bell icon. I really want to show you guys on my journey and what we're up to, doing lots of conversions, commercial conversions, care home conversions, HMOs, you name it, we do it all on the channel. So keep following. Please do subscribe to make sure you get updated with the next videos. Today's tip, I want to talk about negotiating on your deals. How to look professional and negotiate the right deals when you're in property. That's kind of key, isn't it? You know, how to win that deal over everyone else. There's a lot of competition out there in the market. As much as that's great, it is tricky, and it tends to push prices up. But ultimately, there's ways to beat the competition. I'm going to try and help you with some tips that we use in our business to do just that. Of course, it all starts, in my view, from the way you come across. By that, I mean coming across professional, coming across like you've got a good track record, coming across with all the right tools and instruments in marketing to, have that agent that doesn't know you, because they will look you up, they will do their due diligence when they get an offer in. What you've got to remember is that a lot of offers are accepted based on the terms, not the price. Often people think it's just the price, but it's not. It's about, the proceedability of that buyer. So to get a deal, you've got to come across as proceedable. They've got to trust you and know that you're going to commit on the deal. Now that can be hard when you're just starting out. For us, obviously now it gets easier because we've done what we've done. We've done tons of sites, and in our offer letter, we put in our last 4 or 5 sites that we've done to show our track record, and they're out there in the public domain for people to go and see. They'll log on and probably see this YouTube video, which is, I guess, kind of annoying if they do, because that's going to ruin my negotiating on my next deal. But I'm sure it won't. It is just about being honest, and hopefully, if someone does see this video, they're like, yeah, well, hopefully he knows what he's talking about. He's done all those sites, and he's got some experience, and has bought lots of stuff, and is an honest guy. And I think as a vendor, when I'm selling sites, and we do sell sites, we sell 2 out of every 3 things we build. We want a buyer that's going to commit. 5% on the price either way. It can be a lot of money, but it can also, be instrumental in timing. If someone's going to come in and buy the site in a matter of a month or 2, or a few weeks, great, we get our money, that's opportunity money, we can go and do our next site with it. If someone messes around and it's 3 or 4 months, well, that's like a third of a year, that's a third of another site, that's all the profit on another site. So opportunity cost can be great. And so coming across to agents correctly, how do you do that? Well, you get a website, you get a professional LinkedIn profile, you might want to get a brochure. You might want to get a flyer, a sting flyer, to send the agent. Here's who we are, here's what we do, here's what we buy, and we're buying these blocks. Back in a sourcing video we're posting this week, check that out. It's about, what do you want? I want a 3,000 square foot office up to this price point in these locations, and it needs to be a residential development opportunity. Go to the agent, tell them that. Maybe you have that little flyer. Maybe you take a flyer in with you when you go and visit all these agents to make personal contact. Stick it up on their notice board or in their office, so they're reminded of you the whole time. Yeah, so it's about getting that professional profile in place. So when you walk into that office and you take the business card with a couple of key points of the business card or the flyer you've left in there, they go and do their due diligence on you and go, yeah, these, they look professional. You might not have tons of sites to back your name up, but at least go in and look professional. Rather than someone that walks off the street, I work on IT consultant and I'm doing property. Well, okay, that's great. Where's your business card? Oh, I don't have one. I've got a Gmail address. Oh, right, okay. It's not even on my LinkedIn profile because that's my work profile. We'll go and set up separate profiles for your business. Start posting, start blogging, start vlogging. Get out there. It doesn't matter that you haven't done a load of sites yet. You will. And the more professional you can look from the start, the more likely you are to get deals and get your foot on the ladder, or progress your journey more. It's not just about building properties. It's about branding, it's about marketing, it's about a business. Your property investments, we always talk about this on one of our panels, propertysummits.com. Check that out if you want to watch that. We've got some shows coming up on Sky pretty soon. But it's all about treating your property investments like a business. Businesses have marketing, businesses have sales, businesses have accounting and bookkeeping and all the boring stuff, legal work, everything is encompassing property, and that's why it's so exciting. But back to the point, which was talking about negotiating with the agents. How do you then negotiate? So you've come in, you've looked professional, that's the first tip. Present yourself in the right way, put that groundwork in to show you're a proper business. Then negotiating with the agents when you are putting in an offer. Most important tip, please remember this tip. It's not about the money. It's about the terms. It's definitely about the terms for you as a property developer. You know, it's far more valuable for me to get a delayed completion on a site so I can save a huge amount of money on financing, bridge loans, whatever it might be. JV, if we're JV money with someone with capital, we don't want to waste their money. We want to put their money to good use so they get a huge return and want to do another JV with us. You know, and so it's really all about the terms. And so what sort of terms can you look out for? Well, you can look for a decent exchange period. You could get it under a quick lockout agreement if you think there's lots of competition. Get it under a quick lockout agreement, and then do more due diligence. Get a longer exchange or a longer completion after that. Maybe agree to subject to planning. You maybe agree to subject to a pre-app or subject to certain surveys. Now, don't forget, the more subject to's you get in, the less likely the vendor's going to want to sell it to you because they just want to sell it. They don't want any caveats. You know, subject to planning, getting a subject to planning deal is really, really tricky. They don't come along very often because why wouldn't the vendor do it themselves? They'll pay a good architect or a good local firm to go and do it themselves, or JV with someone like us. We'll come and do the planning process for them. Why would you accept a subject to planning offer? Maybe it's been on the market a long time, maybe they're desperate, maybe it's a really tricky site and they recognise that no one's going to buy it otherwise. So there are obviously clear instances where subject to planning will work. Big major city centre developments are almost certainly going to be subject to planning because there's an awful lot more to do. But a lot of the smaller sites where they're hot property at the moment, you know, people are just buying them on risk. We buy 2/3 of what we do on risk because you have to. But we've got, you know, very good amount of experience. We've got a really good project planning team around us to take calculated risks that are, we believe, are very low risk. And we go out there and we pick the sites through that experience to make sure that we can convert them. We've got the right team that believe behind us that we can go and make that work. And so with that in mind, with the right team behind you, how do you then go and make the offer? How do you know when to make the offer? How do you know what to offer? And how do you know when to wait and hold your nerve? It can be tricky. And I guess one of the bits of advice I'd say is find out as much information as you can about the vendor. Find out as much as you can from the agent. How many viewing days are there? You know, I've got an agent this week chasing me for a care home that we're looking to go and look at. He's had 2 viewing days. I purposely didn't go because the agent's intention for marketing was to fizz the market up, get as many people as possible and do a best bid scenario. Well, then and they're minded to do that. There's no way they're not going to do that. So there's no point in me rushing in and making an offer because all I'm doing is fueling other offers and upping the price from an early stage. So I'm going to hold back at that point. I'm going to wait and see what the interest is, and I'm going to keep drilling the agent. Like, how many people have you had around? Oh, we had lots. What? How many exactly? And how many offers have you had so far? Oh, we've not had any offers yet, but we've had lots of interest. Great. You've had no offers. No one's interested, right? All of this information is feeding my brain, my negotiating brain, going, not as much interest as they'd hoped. You know, so all that bravado from the agent to try and get that's their job, and a brilliant job. But it might come to nothing. You know, sometimes it will fizz up and you get loads of offers thrown around, and you can tell that then. And so if you can tell that there's loads of offers out there and loads of interest, you need to be keener on your price if you really want it. You've got to go to the top end of what you think it's worth. And remember, backwards calculate what it's worth from the NGDV minus your costs, minus your profit, and then you've got site value at the end. And so I guess, you know, try and find as much as you can about the vendor and use that information to your advantage on how much you offer. If there's no major interest and they haven't had many viewings and they haven't had any offers yet, well, pitch low, start low, and wait till the end. Wait till it's kind of been on the market a few weeks, if you have to, and they're getting a little bit desperate, and then you come in with an offer. Great, amazing, but you can start low, and then you can work them up to the price that they want, getting in all the terms you want. You're more likely to get the terms you want if there's less interest. So, you know, it's about being creative, about knowledge. Knowledge is power. Go in, learn everything you can about the deal, about the area, about the weaknesses of that site, do a bit of research, find the problems, and that will help you de-risk the site as well. So, you know, you need to find the problems. You know, I'm always looking for problems. I'm always fixing problems. That's what you do in property development. But if you can point a lot of these problems out and educate the vendor why this might be a tricky site, that might help you negotiate. Anyway, that's a few tips on, you know, negotiating with agents, presenting yourself for the deal. When you do put that offer forward, final tip at the end of the video, when you do put that offer forward, make sure it's on headed note paper, it's nicely formatted, it has your solicitor's details, it has the terms, the offer amount, the time scales, all of that up front, and possibly some of your past projects if you've got them, if they're big enough. If they're not, you probably want to leave them out, but feel free to put them in anyway. And make sure that's fully presented as the final pitch. And if you know it's a bit hot, you might want to make it a time limited offer. We will sometimes say this offer is valid for 48 hours and then we're out because we're offering another site. So let us know, but we're out after 48 hours. We're not going to be drawn into a best bid scenario. And hopefully that would help. On our windy building site today, 30,000 square foot office conversion, coming to an end, 44 apartments. This is what we built lately. We had to negotiate hard for this one. There was a couple of other people involved, but we got the deal. And you know how we got the deal? We did tight timescales. We offered full asking price and we said, we will complete, we'll exchange within 3 weeks and complete within 6. That's a tall order on something of this size. It was £2.25 million to build. Best part of a £5 million build contract on top of that price. So we're in it for sort of 7.5, probably 8 million by the time you count finance costs and stuff, something around those numbers. And speed was of the essence. So yeah, hope that was a useful video for you guys. Please do subscribe. I'm going to do more in this series of working on bigger scale sites and how to source them, how to develop them. Those of you wanting to get into commercial conversions, if you're coming out of HMOs and smaller sites into, you know, a number of flats, you know, this series will help you. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Do subscribe. If you hit the bell icon, you'll get notified. Put all notifications on and you get pinged up when another one of these videos comes up in this series. So hope this was useful and I'll see you on another video very soon.